Hi, my name is Matt. I'm from FRC Team 1257, and I'm going to show you today how to make a battery strap so that your battery stays inside your robot even when you cowabunga off level 2 of the hab. So, we are going to start with, you need a side release buckle like this and some polypropylene webbing. Both of these I have purchased from McMaster-Carr, and the part numbers will be down in the comments below. So go check that out if you want it. I don't make any money. Some other sources for this, you can buy most of the stuff at a fabric store, but it might be a little more expensive, might be a little harder to find. But most FRC teams know of McMaster-Carr, and if you don't, you should know it. I'm going to be using my Sailrite walking foot sewing machine, which is behind me. But there's no reason with this particular webbing that you can't do this with just any old sewing machine you have. Even if you don't even have a sewing machine, you could do this with a needle and thread. It's just not as much fun. With a little bit of practice, you can make these in about 5 minutes, and they're nice to have a few around in case you need to help other teams out. And the total cost, I believe, is somewhere in the neighborhood of $25, and you can make 10 of these. So after cutting 30 inches of webbing off, we need to heat seal the end so it doesn't unravel on us. So all you do is you take your thing, do this in a well-ventilated room because you are going to be burning a little bit of plastic. Take a lighter and just heat seal the end, move it back and forth. And it works best if you flip it in the middle. Then you end up with a heat sealed end that won't unravel on you, and we can sew this later. So now that we've heat sealed the ends, we want to put a mark at the end, at one end, 2.5 inches down. This is just a piece of tailor's chalk, and you can do this measure it out with a ruler or anything. You don't have to use these fancy quilting squares. Then we take the female side of the buckle, the one that doesn't squeeze and bend, and we feed the webbing through, line up with the mark we just made, and we just fold it over like that. So next we want to sew over this buckle to secure it to our strap. Very first thing you want to do is make sure the right side is going to be out. For this one, I'm folding to the outside, and I actually have this on backwards, so I'm just going to take it and flip it around. This is the outside, there's no writing on it. And we're going to do something called a box X stitch. A box X stitch is used when we want to secure webbing to itself or to other things very securely. And it's called a box X because it's a box with an X. So what we're going to do is I'm going to sew along here, down this edge, across there, up this edge. Then I'm going to do a diagonal, sew across the bottom again, and come back up to the top. And I'll reverse at the start and stop to keep it from unraveling. So here we go. Make sure I have my foot pedal in the right place. Then I'm going to reverse. Reversing like this locks that stitch in place so it will not unravel. And then I'm going to go back across. Careful where I stop so that I stop on the fabric so I can turn with the needle all the way down. Then I'm going to sew down this length. Got to the end, bury the needle, turn it, drop it back down, and then I'm going to come across this way. Spin it. Drop the foot again. Complete my box. Now that I've done the box, I'm going to do the X part. So I'm going to lift my foot again, twist it like that, and I'm going to sew right to that corner. So now that I'm in that corner, I'm going to lift my foot. I'm going to turn again. I ran out of bobbin. You feel me? So before, I ran out of bobbin thread. So that just goes to show, you know, I'm not perfect. Nobody is. So I'm just going to start back over, and I'm going to go over the areas where I already have, and then I'm going to just reverse through this section here. So I'm going to start about on that corner, and I'll reverse through that section here to keep the stitches from pulling out. So let me go right on back. So I'm starting on that bottom corner. So here I am, I've completed my box, as you can see. Now I'm going to do the X inside. So I just swivel it back around so that I'm going to be pointing right at that corner. Bring it right down to that corner where I was. Bury the needle, spin it. And then I'm going to come back across. Spin it again, so I'm pointed at the corner I want to go to. So I've come back to my original corner, and now I'm going to reverse to lock that stitch in. Lift the needle. And snip. I will cut my threads in a second, and then you can see I have a box with an X in it. Very impressive. So that's the first part. So next, we are going to start putting this together, and it's going to start looking more and more like a strap. To make sure I don't get any twists or anything in it, I'm going to assemble my buckle. You'll see that there's a side with teeth on this. That is the side you want up. So I'm going to snap it in, take my webbing here, make sure it's completely flat, no twists. And then I'm going to take it and feed it through like that. Come back through like that. So I got that little bar on top. Then I'm going to pull it tight, make sure there's no twists. And now we're ready to put a stopper on here. So I'm going to fold it over 1/2 of an inch, approximately. This is not rocket surgery. Then I'm going to fold it over another 1/2 of an inch. Then I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine. I'm going to put a bar tack right here, so I'm just going to put it underneath my needle, drop my presser foot, and I'm going to sew across. And then once I'm up, so go forward and back to reverse it. That, again, locks it in place. And I come out here and I'm going to trim my threads. And then we take this and we have a very strong, very sturdy battery strap. So now we've sewn in this stopper on the end. It's tripled up. And what that lets you do is when you are trying to swap your battery and you're doing it fast and you need to maybe adjust this, you can't accidentally slide your webbing out of your buckle so that this is retained positively. This is all non-conductive materials, so it won't short out your battery. It's all typically in the range, like the webbing is about 900-pound break strength. And the buckles can hold a few 100 pounds themselves without sliding out. But don't use them for lifting. That's a bad idea. McMaster even tells us that. And this is an easily adjustable design that can go under, around, over frame members and secure your battery in place. And if you use 2 of these, you have double redundancy to keep your battery in your robot when you cowabunga off HAB level 2.